Hey friends, Ash here with Gents, and today I'm going over with you guys my top 5 favorite men's designer releases that came out in 2019, this last year. I was trying to save this until right at the end of the year because I was thinking maybe there might be some new release that came out right at the end of the year that would blow me away, but honestly this past couple of months, there's been next to nothing that's come out. I'm also going to be having a video coming out really soon with my 5 least favorite fragrances that came out in 2019. So if you don't see something here, there's a chance that it's gonna end up on that list, which is not really the list that you would wanna end up on. Like I said, I've got 5 fragrances here. Technically, it's a little bit more than that, but we'll talk about that in a second. My favorite releases, designer-wise, of 2019. So let's jump into this. So like I said, guys, 5 fragrances, but technically the number 5 spot has 3 fragrances. I couldn't really figure it out. You know, there were some positives and some cons from each one of these fragrances that I'll talk about here briefly in the number 5 spot. So it's a 3-way tie at number 5 for me. There's a big gap between these and the top 4, but I just couldn't break this out to 5 specifically, so I kind of lied to you a little bit with the title of the video. Hopefully you'll forgive me. So these 3 fragrances that tied for 5th are Paco Rabanne Pure Excess Night, Givenchy Gentleman Cologne, and Mont Blanc Explorer. And I know that some of you out there are gonna crap on Explorer because of the Aventus vibe that it gives off, and I get that. But over the year, Explorer has grown on me enough that I think that it has a purpose, it has a place in my rotation or my collection going forward. So let's talk about these 3 first, all tied for 5th place. First off, let's talk about Explorer. This one, like I said, is well known for having a Creed Aventus vibe. It's almost like a designer version of Creed's Aventus. It has Akigala wood, ambroxan, and bergamot as some of the main notes, and I've actually reviewed this fragrance twice on the channel. So I've covered this one extensively. When I first got this one in, I thought it was pleasant, definitely overpriced at retail. It's one that I said you should definitely wait until it hit discounters before you picked it up, and now it has hit discounters. And I think that the price that it's going for now makes this a much more attractive buy for a lot of guys out there. It does take that Aventus vibe, that Aventus DNA to an extent, and simplifies it, makes it into a modern designer release. I mean, it's got the ambroxan, it has the Akigala wood, and of course a bunch of bergamot as well. It's very versatile, it has decent performance, it gets you compliments, you can use it day, night, casual, formal, almost year round. Explorer, like I said, gets crapped on because of the Aventus vibe that it has. It's obviously not something super unique, but for what it is, it's a solid release, and at least for what we got this year in 2019, it's on the better side of designer releases for men. Honestly, when I jumped into this list, when I started thinking about what I was going to put here, I pretty quickly ran out of fragrances that I thought were really solid releases designer-wise for 2019. The top 3 came to me really quickly. The 4th one, that one was pretty easy as well. But like I said before, after those first 4 fragrances, at least for me, because this is obviously based on my personal taste, it dropped off. And after these 3, it drops off even more. One fragrance that I didn't include here that I'm just gonna talk about really quickly that actually surprised me and is pretty good for the price that you pay is Azzaro Chrome Aqua. That one is pretty good, and that was the first fragrance out. So if I had made this a 4-way tie for 5th place, Chrome Aqua was the next one. Next up, let's talk about this one, Gentleman Cologne. It has petitgrain, lemon, bergamot, iris, and ambroxan as some of the main notes in this scent. This one to me comes across a little bit green, watery, fresh, soapy, clean, and elegant. It's a really nice take on iris for a warm weather scent. If you look on Fragrantica, it gets a decent amount of love. The dislike bar, pretty small on Fragrantica for this one. It smells really pleasant. It's easy to wear, especially in high heat. It just didn't blow me away. It smells very, very nice. Like I said, it's comforting type of fragrance, but it just didn't match up as well with the ones above it in this list. Still though, for warm weather, spring and summer, daytime casual wear kind of situations, that one super solid. And then the last one that's tied for 5th place, Paco Rabanne Pure XS Night. I've said a bunch of times on this channel, I'm a fan of Paco Rabanne Pure XS. I really like that fragrance a lot. And if we're comparing this one directly with Pure XS, I like Pure XS more than I like Pure XS Night, but I like this one a good amount as well. Ginseng, myrrh, vanilla, cacao, and salted caramel are some of the main notes in this fragrance. And this one, instead of going that more effervescent, almost Coca-Cola kind of vibe that Pure XS gives off, this one goes in a sweet direction, just very sweet. There is a blast of spice in here that helps offset or center the sweetness a little bit, but at its heart, it's still about the vanilla, the salted caramel, and those other sweeter notes. If you like fragrances that are on that sweet side with a little hint of darkness, you should check this one out. For me, it's a compliment getting fragrance. It's got above average performance. It's a solid release, and if I had to pick a 5th place, if I couldn't make it a 3-way tie, which technically I can do that since this is my video, this one was the one that would have been 5th. Now let's go on to the top 4, and in my opinion, these are the standouts, the best ones, the best designers released in 2019. And this should not be a surprise to you guys, but I have mentioned each one of these fragrances coming up multiple times over the year on this channel, so it shouldn't be a huge surprise. Number 4 is this one, Halloween Man X. This fragrance has incense, but the 2 main things that you'll pick up from this fragrance are the special accords made for the scent. One is a blackjack accord, and the other is a mineral accord. The blackjack accord features leather, roasted coffee, and whiskey as the notes comprising that blackjack accord. The mineral accord has amber and concrete. The roasted coffee in this one really comes out for me. I really love the way that it comes across. My wife loves it as well. The leather in here, the whiskey that comprises the rest of that blackjack accord kind of works in underneath the coffee, provides more depth and more facets to that accord. The concrete I don't necessarily pick up as you would actual concrete. It doesn't smell like you went outside and put your nose to the ground and sniffed it and you went, oh yeah, that reminds me of Halloween Man X. That doesn't happen. But that mineral accord does help get across the vibe that they were going for with Halloween Man X, if you've seen some of the promotional material that they had for this fragrance and just looking at the bottle as well. Another good thing about this fragrance is that when it's in stock at discounters, it's very affordable. The entire Halloween Man line is affordable. All of them. Halloween Man Shot, Halloween Man Tattoo, Halloween Man X, they're all very affordable fragrances. Where this one is newer and is, in my opinion, the best one of the entire line, period. It kind of goes in stock and then out of stock and then in stock and then out of stock. So if you really want to pick this up and it's out of stock at your discounter of choice, whether that's Fragrance Net, Fragrance X, or whoever you typically use, don't overpay for this. Don't go to eBay and pay jacked up prices. You should be looking to pick this one up in the $25 to $30 range. And honestly, at that price, it's a great deal. It smells much higher quality than that price would have you believe if you hadn't smelled this before. It's a 4.2 ounce bottle, so you're getting a lot of fragrance for a low price. Performance on this, very good. Potential compliment getter. There's a lot to like about that fragrance, and it is number 4 in my list of best designer releases for 2019. Next up is a fragrance that I've reviewed. I've featured it in battle videos. It's been in some smell and rave videos. One that I surprisingly liked. This was a big surprise, actually. It is Yves Saint Laurent Why Live. And I am obligated to say this every time that I bring this fragrance up, but it has a stupid name, so stupid, because in English, like I've said 15 times, you could pronounce it Why Live, and that's such a terrible name for a fragrance. Why live? Why go on any longer? But yeah, Why Live. This one takes Why Eau de Parfum, basically sweetens it up with kind of an Invictus-ish kind of vibe. So yeah, there's a little bit of a bubblegummy feeling in here, and that is going to turn some people off, especially people that are into fragrance as art, into independent fragrances, niche fragrances, all that good stuff. they are not gonna like this one because it is trying to appeal to the masses, and it's not really hiding that at all. It has grapefruit and amberwood and tonka, and I've mentioned amberwood a bunch of times. It's basically the new ambroxan, if you want to call it that. It's used in so many modern men's releases lately, over the past couple years especially. Basically, if you take ambroxan and you make it woodier, again, very simplistic breakdown, that's what amberwood is going to give you, and that is featured prominently here in Y Live. That being said, amberwood is also featured in Y Eau de Parfum, and if you like Y Eau de Parfum and you wish that it was a little more youthful, a little sweeter, then definitely check this one out. It is a compliment monster. It really is. Y Live pulls compliments like nobody's business. I know a lot of you out there do not care one lick about compliments, but a ton of you out there do. And Y Live kills it, crushes it in terms of compliments. Has good performance as well, very versatile, one that you can use day or night, nearly year round as well. Y Live is going to be hated on very harshly by, again, people that don't like the way that modern men's fragrances are trending and have been trending over the past few years. They're not gonna like this, but your average girl, your average guy out there is gonna smell this and think it smells awesome. I've had great feedback on that one. And again, it was a huge surprise that I liked it because I frankly don't really like Invictus, and I don't like a lot of the fragrances that use an Invictus-ish kind of DNA, but for whatever reason, I like this one. So there we go, number 3, Y Live. Top 2 probably are not a surprise to you if you're familiar with this channel. Number 2 is a fragrance that I have reviewed in the past. I've featured it in my top 10 winter designer fragrances for this year. It's Issey Miyake Nuit d'Issey Pulse of the Night. This one blew me away the first time I smelled it. This is not a fragrance that had to grow on me. This is one where I smelled it and immediately, first time I smelled it, I was just like, oh, love it. It's got incense, tonka, vanilla, amber, patchouli, and leather as some of the notes in the fragrance, and this one smells so high quality versus what you pay to pick this up, assuming you're not getting ripped off on eBay. And I talked about this in my winter top 10 list for designers, but if you buy this fragrance, do not spend over 60 bucks on it, if at all possible. As of this video, when I'm filming this, when this fragrance is in stock at discounters, you can pick it up in the $50 range. That's the sweet spot. That's what you want to pay for this one. It comes into stock and out of stock, kind of like Halloween Man X, where it'll pop up on FragranceNet and then it'll get bought up, it'll go out of stock, and then a week or two will go by and they'll get more in stock, and then it'll sell out again. So it does keep doing that. It's been doing that for the past couple months. And some people have purchased up a bunch of these and then have tried to flip them on eBay for double price. It's an awesome fragrance. I love this scent, but don't pay too much for it. Don't get ripped off. It's got a prominent incense along with a sweet resinous backbone. Smells fantastic. There's a small touch of powder in here, though to me, the powder is not overwhelming. It just smells, like I said, of amazing quality for the price that you pay. The performance on that one as well, very good. It smells just absolutely top tier. I would put this up there with Issey Miyake Or Encens, which was a more expensive release that was hard to find for a while. I put this one, Pulse of the Night, right up there with that one in terms of quality. Now, in terms of compliments, if that's what you're after, Y Live is gonna get you way more compliments than Pulse of the Night is. But just in terms of the fragrance, how it comes across, how high of a quality it has, and how unique it smells. This one, much better than Y Live. They're two completely different fragrances that do two completely different things. For me, Pulse of the Night, just more enjoyable on the whole for myself to smell than Y Live, which is why it comes in at number 2. So that takes me to number 1. This is probably, again, not a surprise if you've watched a lot of the channel. This fragrance was in my top 10 fall designer fragrances for this year. It's an amazing release, in my opinion, just smells fantastic. Another one that the first time I smelled it, I was just like, wow, that is a great release. And it is this one, Armani code Absolu. Tonka, vanilla, suede, woods, and nutmeg are some of the notes in this fragrance. And it definitely has a resemblance to Armani Code Profumo. So if you own Profumo already, you may find this one a little bit redundant. If you don't own Profumo and you're thinking about picking up either Absolu or Profumo, I say go Absolu 100% all the way. It basically takes that Profumo DNA and refines it, makes it richer, more reined in, smoother, and more mature. And while it is more mature than Profumo, it still can be worn by younger guys as well. This is one that has a lot of versatility, in my opinion. When you spray that on, it has almost an effervescence. It just leaps off your skin, it sparkles, it smells amazing. Of the entire Armani Code line, Code Absolu is my favorite at this point. Hands down, not even close. If I could pick only one fragrance from the entire Armani Code line to keep from this point forward, the only one that I could ever wear, it would be this one, and I would not even have to think about it. It's a compliment beast. It has great performance. Like I said before, very versatile. Younger guys can wear it. Middle-aged guys could wear it. I think even older gentlemen could wear it if they wanted to. It's an amazing scent, and it's one that hasn't really popped up at discounters yet. So if you want that one, you're probably gonna have to pay close to retail. You could find some bottles on eBay, for example, but it's not available as of this video at most discounters. And for me, Armani Code Absolu is an easy choice for the best designer release of the year. Pulse of the Night was close, but Absolu was the first fragrance I thought of. It's the one that I like wearing the most out of all of these, and it's just a great flanker. And it was actually an enormous surprise that I liked it as much as I did. I did not expect to fall in love with Absolu the way that I did, but I love that fragrance. Like I said, guys, here pretty soon, I'm gonna have another list of my 5 least favorite releases of 2019. A lot of the ones that I'll feature, I have reviewed. So if you've been keeping up with reviews over the year, you probably have an idea of some of those scents that are gonna make the worst list. But these here, these are my favorite designer releases of 2019. Explorer, Gentleman Cologne, Pure Excess Night, Halloween Man X, YSL Y Live, Pulse of the Night, and Code Absolu. Let me know in the comments down below which fragrance releases that came out in 2019 designer-wise are your favorites, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another fragrance video. So thanks so much for your support. I'll see you guys later.